annual Halloween in the city.
Hello and welcome to the Halloween Quays special.
We have a spectacular show for you today, so stay tuned.
Our first story is a man who has been jailed after inflicting a fatal punch outside a takeaway in Rochdale. Jafar Ali is charged with manslaughter and is sentenced to 4.5 years in Minshaw Street Crown Court today. The video we are about to show may be distressing.
CCTV footage shows how Ali got into an argument with 59-year-old Keith Maiden before issuing the fatal punch, causing the victim to fall and hit his head on the floor. Maiden was then taken to hospital where he died a short time later. Kendall's house of Fraser Store on Deansgate will be closing down soon, and time is also running out for campaigners. This is a joint report from Tim O'Callaghan and Joe Wilmore. Now, there's a small technical issue, so we don't have the package, I'm afraid. Now, as it's Halloween, we want to know what you're up to this evening. Let us know your plans on Twitter at Quays News with the hashtag QuaysHalloween.
Still to come on today's programme.
In case you've missed it, we'll be giving you an insight into Manchester's annual Halloween in the city.
And Eleni will be here with the weather later on. Marking the last day of Black History Month, we explore the NHS's urgent appeal for black people to register as organ donors and blood donors. The report contains images of blood and needles, which you may find distressing. Natasha Pears has more details.
Now, due to a technical issue, we don't have that package, I'm afraid. Now, back to Halloween. Manchester's city centre celebrated its 3rd annual Halloween in the city at Exchange Square over the weekend. Events gathered over 30,000 people for a weekend of spooky activities. This included a world record attempt to help raise money for homelessness this winter. Our reporter Laura Burns went down to find out more.
Halloween in the city, gathering over 30,000 people to Manchester's city centre for a weekend of spooky events.
Here today to attempt to break the world record for a fantastic cause.
Manchester's homeless charity Big Change has raised over £160,000, helping over 800 homeless people who are in need of financial support.
Hopefully to help with the homeless issue that's in Manchester, so it's a really good cause today.
The charity aims to provide sustainable long-term solutions, including practical items such as a deposit for a new home, a training course, clothes for a job interview, and much more. 650 people dressed as ghosts were needed to break the record.
Need to cram this area full of ghosts. Bring your sheets and join in the fun.
Mancunians weren't far behind the record as 521 ghosts rose to the occasion. But that didn't dampen people's moods, as performance from electronic musician Charlie Draper kept the spooky spirit.
What is your favourite part of Halloween?
Oh well, I think it has to be the costumes, everyone dressing up as their favourite horror characters.
Today I am the gatekeeper.
The main stage screened Halloween family classics and episodes of CBeebies to entertain the little ones. The annual Halloween-inspired festival brought a weekend of spooky activities for all to enjoy. Laura Burns, reporting for Quays News.
So, Halloween. Now, have you done anything to celebrate yet?
Well, my friend Abby had a flat party the other day, which we went to. I dressed up as Jim from Friday Night Dinner. Absolutely loved it.
I love that show.
What else did I get to? My mates want to go out to watch Watch Dogs later, but that's about it. What have you been up to?
Do you know what? Quite a lot. Myself and my friend Olivia, we went to Atmosphere last night, and it was really good fun. We got to dress up as zombies. We did a competition where we had to wrap toilet roll around each other. It was called the Mummy Competition, and whoever won a shot of tequila. It was great. Yeah, so a lot of drinking, really. A lot of nursing of the old hangovers, but all good fun.
Well, what's the weirdest person you've seen dress up as?
The weirdest fancy dress would have to be someone had like a flashing mask, so they literally had like LED lights attached to the mask.
Oh, from the
and
Purge.
It was like almost like strobe lighting. Yeah, literally, it was amazing. Let's chat about a few events that are actually happening in the city. So I know we've got a lot of like scary screening events of films. So we've got one at Monster House, a lot of crazy club nights and balls. Which one do you think you'd go for? If you could do Halloween again, what do you think you'd do?
I'd probably go to some of those screenings because
fun, don't they?
I love films. I love getting some fantastic film ideas. I love watching. Like, my friend wants to watch the new Halloween, and he said that it was a great watch.
I think I'd have to take a cushion with me to the cinema.
Oh, I would as well.
I
I'm so scared.
couldn't even cope watching Amityville, and that's about 10 years old. But yeah, apart from that, let's have a little look what's going on. So we've also got Town Centre Ghost Tours. Now that looks quite good. There's one that's actually looking at where the graveyard was designed. It was actually where the old Granada Studios and the set of Coronation Street is built. So that'd be quite cool.
Well, let's have a look at some of the things that people have sent in today for Halloween. Some fantastic costumes there.
That is a pretty cool costume, isn't it? Look at that.
That is a brilliant
jack-o'-lantern.
jack-o'-lantern.
That's my battery on my phone every day.
Every single day. Laura Burns.
Got a bit of leopard print. I like it. I like it. No, that is brilliant.
I feel like the Wicked Witch of the West right round.
How did they do that? There's got to be some real good artwork there.
Very, very good artwork there.
That's myself and Olivia from last night. Kendall's House of Fraser store on Deansgate will soon be closing down, and time is also running out for campaigners. This is a joint report from Tim O'Callaghan and Joe Wilmot.
A once busy department store on a still busy high street. House of Fraser, known locally to Mancunians as Kendall's, is due to close its doors for the final time in the new year.
Kendall's has been a part of Manchester in one way or another since 1836. The current building, now owned by House of Fraser, is due to shut down in January and is still an iconic part of Manchester's history. And the people of Manchester are not willing to give it up without a fight.
Sports director Mike Ashley swooped in to save the flagship Oxford Street store. Some, however, were not so lucky. Manchester's Deansgate store was among those in the cull.
Councillors are desperate to save the store. Mike Ashley also wants to, but their time is running out. The rent on the building is a whopping £4.35 million a year. House of Fraser fear that 160 jobs could be lost, and an online petition has now reached over 1,800 signatures.
I'm very, very upset about it. From a young lad with my family, it's part of our, part of the history of Manchester, and I'm very, very sad.
My grandfather used to bring me in and to go around and have a wander around the store. I think it's a great tragedy for the whole of Manchester. It's difficult to get into Manchester now, whereas before it was easy.
It's like the Harrods of Manchester, and it's been here for I don't know how many years. You can get exactly what you want, and I think it's quite a tragedy.
I feel for the staff, really. It's just the economy the way it is at the moment, so I'm disappointed because I shop here on occasion, not all the time, because it's expensive but it's good quality. So
it's a landmark in Manchester, and what's it going to be? A Sports Direct shop.
This isn't Manchester's only closure. The Altrincham branch, known as Rackham's to locals there, is also due to close in early January 2019 as well. 31 out of the 59 leased stores across the UK would also be closing.
The series of closures will cause a total loss of around 6,000 jobs nationwide. Back in June, House of Fraser's CEO Alex Williamson said, "Whilst I do not think this signals the death of the high street, it certainly references the challenges we've been facing."
Although customers say they want it, there is not enough of them going in to save it. It will take either the town hall or a tycoon to save Kendall's from old Father Time.
House of Fraser may have an uncertain future ahead of them, but for Manchester, this could see a rise in Christmas market popularity. One upside to the closure, however, is a lovely Christmas discount, but it looks like no one will be owning Manchester's House of Fraser anymore.
That was Joe Wilmot and Tim Callahan with that report. Now let's have a look at the weather.
Good afternoon. afternoon on this sunny but spooky day today here in Salford. Today we are expecting highs of about 11 degrees and lows of about 6 degrees. So because the clocks went back last Saturday, we're expecting to see much shorter days and much longer and colder dark nights, just in time for Halloween today. So make sure you wrap up warm if you're thinking of attending the 4x4 Jeepers Creepers experience in Cheshire or the Manchester City Stadium fireworks tonight. Later on in the week, we're expecting some sunny intervals with a gentle breeze across Thursday and Friday, with highs of about 9 degrees and lows of about 2 degrees. This will turn into a moderate breeze across Saturday and Sunday, with chances of rain increasing throughout the weekend. So keep this in mind if you're thinking of attending the Prince's Park bonfire on Friday or the Manchester Christmas light switch on Saturday. That's all from me. Have a good one.
Marking the last day of Black History Month, we explore the NHS urgent appeal for black people to register as blood and organ donors. The report contains images of blood and needles that you may find distressing. Natasha Pius has more details.
Abu Dhabi.
Oh, I've made so many mistakes this time. All right, well, what events have we got coming up?
Right, we've got quite a few actually. We've got, so obviously I mentioned the ghost tour before. We've got a zombie walk. It's actually on tonight. It's at 7 o'clock. And it's to raise money for 2 local causes.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that.
It should be really good. I think charity's a big one with Halloween. Now, let's talk about films.
Ooh.
What is your favourite Halloween film?
All-time favourite, I will
All-time.
probably have to go for Paranormal Activity. That film scared me to death.
Do you know what? I liked that film, but I almost actually started laughing in the cinema because there was one section in it where they literally jumped with a sheet, and I thought, I find it funny. It's really bad, isn't it?
There are some bad bits to it,
Yeah.
but you know there's 4 different endings to that film.
Is there really?
Yeah, I can't remember every single one, but apparently with different cinemas there were different screenings with different endings. So apparently you had to go to a different one to find out what happened in the end.
That's pretty cool. I've got to say, my favourite one has to be Strangers.
Ooh, I've
And
not
you
heard of that one.
know, funny story, I was watching this film actually when I was at my friend's house, and when it got to the scary part where they come in with the paper bags on their heads, my friend's mum actually literally came into the room.
Oh, that
and
would've
we all
scared me.
jumped out of our skin. It was so scary. Great film though.
What's the worst one you've ever
The
seen?
worst, I've got to say, Saw.
Oh, don't.
I think merely because of, I don't know what it was. I just found it a little bit gruesome, to be honest.
See, the thing is with the Saw franchise, like, I cannot stand gore. Like, I can stand if it's quick, but when you see it like slow and all that, it's just a no from me. It's just not.
What about, let's go on to pumpkin carving now. Have you sort of carved any pumpkins?
I did earlier this month with
Yeah.
my mum, but then I haven't really got into it. Some of my flatmates wanted to do it, but we never really got round to it because it was Dom's night and we had ordered a Domino's instead.
Right.
Well, that's all today on Quays News. It's goodbye from me, Charlie Mulholland.
And keep up to date with all of your latest news and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
And make sure you're around for the hour, which is coming up next.
Quays News will be back next week. Thank you for watching.
And again, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. Bye.